Hello, Harold.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm ready to learn.
I've been ready to learn all my life. Right?
That's a good comment. I don't know if it's true, but it's a good comment.
Part of it is true, of course.
Part of it's true. That's true. I need to ask Ernie about the president's diagnosis.
If he was, I don't understand. If he's got this, it's already
So progressed.
progressed. It must have happened
9
months ago. They knew, but of course they never said a word.
And now it's a Rahmanis thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm eating my dinner for a minute till he comes on. Okay.
No, they said he's
Oh, he's perfectly healthy. He's cognizant. He knows. He knows everything. He can do stuff.
Oh, then I'm gonna go vote for him. I forgot.
Yeah, you forgot to vote. That's what happened.
I must be the dummy. Ay, ay, ay.
And this Jake Tapper is the worst.
Oh my God.
Can you believe it? People have no shame.
The nerve, the chutzpah. For years, say nothing, and then write a book. He should donate the money to Israel.
Right.
God.
Rich.
Yeah, that's all. It's about making himself rich. Should throw him out. All these people, they're such liars.
Yeah, the journalists are the worst. Worst. Can't get a straight story from anybody. Everything has to put the spin on it.
Yeah.
Where did Mario go, by the way?
Oh, he went to
Switzerland.
Switzerland. It's Itcho's grandson's bar mitzvah.
Oh, I thought they went away for their 80th birthday or something.
No, it's for the bar mitzvah, and then they're gonna go a little touring, Italy, all around that area. Everything's so close.
Nice.
Yeah, it's nice. I hope Anna has the strength. Last time I saw her, she looked a little schwach.
Yeah. So where are you guys going? You're always traveling too.
The only thing we booked, we're going to Alaska at the end of August.
Where are you going?
Alaska on a Costa Rica cruise.
Oh,
with
you're going
Nice.
to Mark?
Yeah, we never went. Did you ever go?
Yeah.
We tried many times. It just never worked. It was always this problem, that problem. So now we said, we're going. If you want to come, let us know.
We went there.
We
That's
went.
nice. What ship are you going on? Or what kosher tour?
Costa Rica.
It's Costa Rica. It's with
It's very nice.
Chaim wouldn't go otherwise. He needs to have a minion and have a shear. Otherwise, he wouldn't go. By the way, I saw Shmuley and his dog today. Wow, what a dog!
I know.
And he says he's small.
Yeah, it's small. It's like a giant.
Yeah, the breed. He's small for the breed.
Oh my God. Hang on. So you're going with all your kids?
No, only Chaim.
Only
Chaim's family. Because everyone else, there's camp, they're counselors, they're this, they're that.
Yeah. Okay. Always work out anymore with everybody. Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Where are you going? Where are you going?
Alaska.
Oh,
The end of August. Yeah, Ernie.
inner passage or outer passage?
I think inner passes.
Oh, you go on the inner passage until you go. I don't want to tell you.
Yeah, don't surprise me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ernie, what's with this diagnosis of the president?
They were keeping this under wraps for years.
It must be. It can't be overnight. All of a sudden, he has bone cancer.
Of course.
So how? It's a travesty.
They lied to the American people, and they were going to run him for president. It's a shame.
It's disgusting.
Then Harris would have been president.
They've ever had here.
And then Harris would have been president.
No, they wanted to run him for president.
Yeah.
That's the scandal. He didn't want to drop out.
But no, it's not him. He didn't know anything. I
Jill.
They have to. You still have to find out who. I mean, it was Jill Biden, but somebody was putting the strings on everything.
Obama, probably.
Oh, probably.
It's the first case where he has prostate cancer and Jill has prostate cancer.
Who?
Yeah,
Who?
Jill.
17.
Oh, very funny.
Some reason that the recordings on Thursday and Friday didn't make it to Zoom unless Mario can resuscitate it. I don't know why. It records. I have no idea. Okay, we're on Yud Zion, Boy Rava. So we're dealing with somebody becomes Tomei while they're in the base of Mikdash, and they tarry there, they delay there for a period of Ishtachava, then you're chayiv korban oil of urine. What about Tolo Atzma Ba'avir Azara? He hung himself above the surface ground, like he pulled himself up with a pulley or something, so he was in the airspace. Mao. Kig Mirashihia. When do we say there's a problem with Shihia de Basi Shtachava? You have to have the capability of bowing down. This guy can't bow down on the floor if he's in the air. And therefore, the lav bar hishtachava logmir, we don't have a Masorah for that. Odilma, it's not an issue of whether you're on the ground or not. It's whether you're within inside. Bifnim shehiyah gemiri, loshna de basi shtachava, loshna de lav basi shtachava. It makes no difference whether you can bow or not. It's whether you're in that airspace. Take. Boy Ravashi, Timei Atzmo b'mezid. He became Tomei b'mezid, not by accident. Do we say ba'oinus k'mirashiyah b'mezid lo k'mirashiyah? This issue of that if you spend enough time in the Azor after you become Tomei, you have a problem. That's only somebody who became Tomei b'shoigeg. But b'mezid, no. There's no din shihiyah. Maybe right away you're over. Or loshna ba'oinus, loshna b'mezid. Maybe it makes no difference. Shihiyah is required. Teku. Ravashi Nazir Bekever. A Nazir is not allowed to be Matame. And he ends up in a cemetery where he's not allowed to be there. Boy Shihia, Malchus, Oenetzar. Does the same concept apply that he has to tarry or dwell there for a period of Shihia in order to get Malchus for being a Nazir who is Matame himself or not? Do we say Bifnim Gemira Shihia? Only in the base of Mikdash do we have this concept of Shihiyah, but Bechutz, Lo Gemiri. But outside the base of Mikdash, these things don't apply. O Dilma, Ba'oinus Gemiri Shihiyah. Their concept of tarrying when you're in a state of Tumah in a certain place, it makes no difference. Loishna Bifnim, Loishna Bechutz. And maybe it would apply. Take. Then we said, Balo Baruka, if he went out of the base of Mikdash the long way, Chayiv. If he went out through a shortcut, Biktsara Potter. Amrav, Ktsar Sha'amru, that which we say, you find a shortcut and you're Potter, that's not if you just run out quickly. Afilu Ekev it's a godel. You go foot, heel to toe walk. Even though it's going to take you time. Even if it takes you afilu kol yom kulo. But if you went out through the shortcut, you would not be chai. Boy Rava. Shehios, you dwelled less than the period of time that it takes you to bow. And then you did it again, and then you did it again. Is there hit starfus? Mashid starfu. Tifshut le mididei. But let's learn from what we just learned about walking slowly out the shortcut, that he remained potter. So you see, there's no itztarfus. So the Gemara says, "Hasam b'shalosha." There he was walking. There was no delay at all. He walked the whole time. He never stopped moving. The shaila that Rava asked is somebody who's mafsik in his walking, and he delays a little bit, but he doesn't delay the full period of time. We want to know if there's a starfus. Boy minei abaya merabo. Bolo barucha. You know what? He went the long way, but he ran out of there. Shir ktsara mau. He went out where in walking it would have been a long way, but running might be even shorter than going out of a shortcut. Is it shir gemiri? Is the Masorah a certain amount of time? V'chibalo baruka shir tzor potter, and therefore, even if he went the long way, if he ran out quickly, less than the amount of time that's required, he's potter. Odilma dafka gmiri, it has nothing to do with time. Baruka, if you go out the long way, chayiv, we don't care whether you ran or not. And biktsara, no matter how you go, potter. Even if you go out the long way, even if you did it running, you'd be chayiv. Maskil Rav Zera, Ela de Kaimalon, Tomesh Shishimesh. We know that a Kohen who becomes Tomei, who does the avoda, he gets Misa, Bidei Shamayim. So the question is, Heichim Mishkachas, how does that happen? Idalo Shah, if he didn't tarry a period of time for Ishtachava, Hachi Avid Avoda, how does he have the time to do the avoda there? Isha, and if he stayed in a state of Tumah, Bar Koresu, so the Gemara doesn't understand, Kores is worse than Misa B'dei Shemayim. How do you ever get to Misa B'dei Shemayim? So, Iyam B'Shma Shiur Gemiri. So, if the Masorah about this din has to do with a period of time, and as long as you didn't spend the time Kedei Ishtachava, you'd be potter, the Mishkachas, so you could do the avodah quickly, the Inis Nafshe. He does the avodah very quickly, and he goes out B'Aktsara, V'Avad. He goes out the shortcut, and he did the avodah. So the shear on getting Kores, you're not going to get because he went through Derech Aktsara. But you will get punished for the fact that you did the avodah in a state of tumah. But we can only learn that way if the Masorah was a set period of time. No, it's not time. It's if you spend Kadesh Tachava, and we don't care whether you went out the Rechava through the shortcut or not. So then in that case, how will the guy get his punishment for doing the avodah in a state of tumah? Amar Abaye, my kushya. It's no question. Mishkachas lo kegon sheba biktsara. He went out the shortcut, so therefore he will not get the punishment for tumah. But while he was walking, hafach b'tzinura, he had a long fork, and he turned one of the limbs that was on the mizbeach as he was walking. K'Ravuna, Sham Ravuna, zar shahafach b'tzinura chayiv misa. When you turn one of the limbs, it's considered doing the avodah. Now, legufa, gufa. Let's bring something in detail. Om Ravuna, zar shavach b'tzina chayv misa, echidami. Idol hafach lo l'ma'akleh. If without turning it, the limb would not have been consumed, pshita certainly is going to be chayv, because he needs that avodah. Idol hafach punami ma'akleh. If the limb would have been consumed even without turning it, then my kovet, he didn't do anything. Without turning the limb, it would have been consumed in 2 hours. Now that he turned it, now it takes 1 hour. By doing the avodah earlier, it's considered avodah, and therefore he would be punished for that. On Rav Oshia, I want to say a certain halacha, but I'm afraid that my chaverim are going to ask me strong kashas. What is that? Hanichnas lebeis hamenuga. You have a house that's afflicted with saras. The Torah says if you walk into such a house, you become tamei. What if you walked in backwards, derech achrayv, and vafilu kulo, his whole body goes in, chutz mechotmo, except for his nose, which is still outside. Tohor, dichsi v'abala bayisit madarim. Derech bia also, the normal way of coming into a house makes you tummy.
Exactly. How do you do that? Without your nose going in, your nose would come.
The nose stays out. You got a long nose, so somehow your body is.
If you're coming into a house, you're walking in at night.
You're walking backwards.
Oh, walking backwards.
Backwards, because it's not derech bia.
Yeah, okay, I got it.
Now, umistafina mechavre. Now I had a problem because mechaver are going to ask me kashas. What's the kasha? If becoming tame in a bayis nuga has to do with how you walked in, so kulunami. So what do we need your nose outside? If you didn't walk in the normal way, even if you walked in completely, you should be tahor. Amar Rava, kulo lo gora mikelim shababayis. If you now physically, your whole body, including your nose, are in the house, you're no worse than a kli, a table, a chair that's in the house, where any kelim in the house are tummy to sieve, upinu sabayis, lo yitmakol shababayis. So you're now tummy because you're like a kli. Tana machi. Gagin halalu. In the Beis Hamikdash, above the Azor, there were roofs. In oichlin sham koche kochim. Normally, you could eat koche kochim in the Azora, but here on the roofs, you could not. And also in shochtim sham koche kalim. There's no kedushas Azora, so you're not allowed to shecht the shlomim and the other kochim kalim there. And tomei shenichnas der gagin lehechol potter. A tomei who walks in via the roof into the Beis Hamikdash, you're potter. Shneimar v'lamigdash lo savo derech bia. You have a normal walking in, which is straight, not through the roof. Zui mitzvah saseh shebemigdash she'en chayav aleh. Hechi koi. What are we talking about? To komer zui. Hasum koi. We learn in Masechta Horiyos. Ein chayavin, based in Agadol, if they make a mistake in Paskin that this chaylev is permitted to eat, and it turns out that the chaylev was osir, rather than each individual person bringing a korban chatas, the Beis Din brings something called a par elam dover shel tzibur. Now, ein chayavin ala seiv alota say shebemigdash. If they made some mistake regarding tumas migdash, because that doesn't, you don't bring a normal korban chatas, you bring a chatas oil of a sliding scale. Ve'mevim asham tolui ala seiv alota say shebemigdash. An asham tolui is a suspended asham. So what is this? Let's say you have a piece of fat in front of you. You think it's permitted fat, and you eat it. And then someone says, that was chaylev. So you ate the chaylev b'shuk, you can bring a korban chatas. Okay. Let's say there were two pieces of fat. One was kosher, one was chaylev. And you ate one of them. And we don't know which one you ate. So it's a suffix whether you should bring a chatas. So you bring, in that case, an asham talui. It suspends you until some point in the future where they inform you, that piece of chaylev that you ate was really chaylev. And now you have to bring a full korban chatas. But until then, the asham suspends you. But it's only on an aveira where if you committed that aveira, you would bring a full korban chatas, not a chatas oil of a sliding scale, which is the tumas migdash ukdash stuff. So you don't bring an asham toli for that. You only bring it for real korban chatas kavua. Aval chayavim ala seva lota se shebenida. The Sanhedrin made a mistake regarding a psak, regarding a woman becoming a nida. It turns out that all of these husbands lived with their wives who were nidot. They thought that they were tor, but the Beis Din had posted inappropriately by a certain mare, and now instead of each person bringing a korban chatas, the Beis Din brings the parlam dover shel tzibur. Now, regarding nida, mevi an asham tola ala seva lo taseish benida. You also bring an asham toli if there were two women, your two wives. One was tohar, one was tamei, and you don't know who you slept with or who was which. In those cases, you also bring an asham toli. The ka'omar, our Mishnah, which talked about if somebody becomes tamei, there's a mitzvah for him to leave the Azara, Zui mitzvah saseh b'mikdash she'ein chayavan aleh. That's an example where the Beis Din would not be chayiv if they paskined inappropriately about that case. Ve'zoi mitzvah saseh b'nida shechayavan aleh. That's what our Mishnah ended up with. A person was having intimate relations with his wife who was tohor. The Amrlo in the middle, she says nitmesi. Upirish miyad, and he left her immediately. Chayiv. Even the leaving, because b'mnei yitziyaso anola kabiyoso. The member exiting the canal gives the man the same pleasure as when it goes into the canal. So he would be chayiv for that as well. Now, the Gemara wants to go into detail regarding that halacha. Itmar. Abai Amar Mishmei Rav Chia Barav. In fact, chayiv shtayim. Now these are shoygigs. He thought his wife was tohor. He had relations with her. So, and then she says, I'm tamei. So he's chayiv too for the entrance and for the pulling out. Chada aknisa, when he first entered, v'chada laprisha. Now, Havi bar Rava. Rava was learning this sugya. B'mai, what are we talking about? Samach levesta. Every lady has a veset where we know when she's supposed to see dam nida. Now, if it was at that time, and he's supposed to stay away from her, but he did it, and he had relations with her. Uveman, ileme b'tamin chacham. So bishma knisa l'chayiv. So in the beginning, he certainly didn't know that she was tamei, so you'd be chayiv on the knisa. Why? Because ksaver yicholni livol, I could have relations quick enough before she actually has her period. But then it turns out he didn't, so it's a shoygig. But ela prisha ma'ila chayiv, he's amazing. That means he shouldn't have had relations with the woman in the first place because she's samach levesta. So now the fact that he has to pull out, he's amazing for that. Why? And he's a Talmid Chacham, he knows the halacha. He should have waited until he lost his erection and then pulled out. Because really, you're once she informs you, you should wait there for a while, because you only have anah when it's still bekishui. So the fact that he pulled out right away is amazing. He knows the halacha. Why is he bringing a korban? Okay, so we'll stop here. So we'll learn Daniel at 8:00.
Very good. When's Susie coming back?
Coming back with me. I'm going May 28th.
Oh, okay.
Because Dahlia's son is having a bar mitzvah.
Nice.
That's what I'm saying. We had reservations a long time ago. Susie pulled her ticket earlier.
So
I'm going, and my kids are going. Lisa and Ariella, I'm going on flight with them.
Okay.
He's a value shopper. Leora's also going.
With us on the same flight?
No, I don't on the same flight, but she's going for the bar mitzvah.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Martha, you should come too.
I should. If I wouldn't have a show, believe me, I'm wasting so much money to go to this show in Vegas. Just a waste of money, it's the Vegas show.
So right before Shavuos?
Right after Shavuos.
Okay.
Why is the bar mitzvah on Shavuos? No.
Before, then we're staying for Shavuos though.
When the bar mitzvah's on
bar
the show.
Parshas Bamidbar.
Huh?
The bar mitzvah's Parshas Bamidbar.
Which is in 2 weeks' time.
That's right. Next the Shabbos after this coming Shabbos.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're flying Tuesday or Wednesday. And then we'll stay the next week for Shavuos.
Listen, if you want to take me early, I'm happy to go along.
Okay.
If you want to take me, no problem.
He won't squeak. He won't make any noise. He'll be
I
a good
won't
boy.
say a word. I'll be quiet. I'll carry your bags for you.
I have to answer this page. Bye.
Yeah, all of a sudden.
Tomorrow, 7 o'clock tomorrow?
Tomorrow, 7 o'clock.
Okay. If you change your mind, let me know. He disappeared.